Brand Builders. I'm your host, Gigi, CEO and founder of the Era Vista Planner. And today we are taking a walk through the entrepreneurial jungle with CEO and founder Michael Jeffries of Historian Threads. And as always, we are going to let our guards down, serve truth up, and stand on business, the good, the bad, and the better while we discuss all things product development. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey, brand builders, we're back again. As you see, the entrepreneurial jungle with one of Baltimore's finest. CEO and founder of Historian Threads, Michael Jeffries to you, but Bibby to me. Okay, can we have a round of applause? Yes! Okay, that's what we like. So, Bibby, so you guys can call him Michael, Mr. Jeffries, CEO, founder, but I'm calling him Bibby today, okay? Now listen, I know you, your followers know you, those who love to wear your apparel know you, but these podcasting streets are full of strangers, okay?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is play a game so they can get to know you.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. It's called 30 Under 30. You're going to have 30 seconds
Okay.
to answer 30 questions.
30 questions?
Yes.
Lord.
So this is the thing. You know all the answers because it's about you.
Okay.
All right? Now, the guest who is able to answer the most will get a prize from us at the end of the season. All right? So just to drop a little competitive fire.
Is it a record right now? What's the record?
I think the record is 10.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm waiting for my producers to count me in. We're about to do our time. You ready? Birth order.
1.
Hometown.
Baltimore.
Middle name.
Montel.
Favorite animal.
None.
Desired superpower.
Wolverine.
Favorite TV show.
The Wire.
Favorite place to shop.
Online.
Pop or country.
Neither.
Favorite food.
Favorite food. Japanese.
Hidden talent.
None.
Come on, baby.
I don't hide.
Favorite teacher.
That was it.
Well, who was your teacher? Tell me your favorite teacher, though.
My favorite teacher? I didn't like school that much. I guess maybe Yetta Lewis, 4th grade.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
So shout out to all the 4th grade teachers. Now, Bibby didn't like the rest of y'all, okay? But the 4th grade teacher, he remembers. So shout out to you. So now, Bibby, that we've gotten to know you a bit better, we are going to jump right into your brand story, okay?
Okay.
So I want you to tell us when you knew you were going to dip your toe into this thing we call entrepreneurship.
Well, I honestly just started with one T-shirt about a barbershop argument. Is Jay greater than Nas, or is Nas greater than Jay-Z? So just started with that T-shirt, and I, found a place to put it online and thought I was gonna make $1 million off rip. It didn't work like that, and then that turned into this journey, I guess.
So what people don't know, see, Bibby's being humble. He's almost a decade in the game. You dropped September 2015. And right now it is 2024. Okay, we're not gonna say the month yet, but it's 2024. So you have actually progressed from literally 2 products to over 150 offerings. So take me through the moment you knew you were gonna start in the barbershop to the point where you said, okay, I have this brand. How do I scale it? How do I grow it? How do I make it what it has now become?
It's probably not the best advice, but I never thought of it that way. It's like a passion, and it's just reinvesting and growing. Like I'm probably doing it the wrong way, but I never thought about quote unquote scaling. I just wanted to make dope stuff and then sell it to dope people.
So I love the fact that you said it was a passion, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs kind of fall into the journey, right? But along the way, you're able to say, okay, this is actually a viable business, right? You're able to say, okay, what is it that I'm offering that's different? How did you know? Because you can't just fall into it. It's not an accident. You can't be somewhere for 10 years and do what you're doing and have the fly gear that you have if what you had wasn't speaking to people in some way. What is the message behind the brand?
So, I just wanted to highlight the culture of hip hop. Sometimes hip hop is treated as disposable, right? It's like, it's not valued. And I just wanted to put the value and the history back into the culture, or at least highlight those things as the the value and the history of hip hop. Hip hop came, it was birthed out the rubble of the Bronx in 1973. If somebody go look up pictures of the Bronx in 1973, it looks like a war zone, literally, like falling buildings, just yards of rubble. And we as a people, black people, brown people, we birthed a culture out of that. And that's important for so many reasons, because no matter where you are, when you are, we can birth something great from nothing. That's just us as a people.
I love that. And I love the fact that you're talking about how it almost literally parallels what you're saying now. It's an idea, it's a feeling, it's a passion. And then from there, it grows into a movement, right? So what is it that you see that you are able to offer in terms of whether it's the visuals, whether it's the branding, whether it's the storytelling, whether it's what you're able to communicate via Instagram that you feel like, or Facebook or whatever have you, your online store, that was lacking, that was an answer to a question that you answered with your apparel?
I just, I honestly just make stuff that I would like to wear, and then just and hope other people would like to wear it too. I mean, for real, like I put stuff out and don't know like how it's gonna hit. Like even like this jacket,
which is fire, by the way.
So like one of my friends, I always get my friends to model. So I got my friend's pockets. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's dope." And I was like, "Oh, you like it?" Like I really don't know until it hit the street. I just really make what I see in my head and then hope people like it. Yeah. It backfires sometimes, but.
And we're going to get to some of those backfires, because the thing is, entrepreneurship is like that. You literally don't know until you know.
Right.
So we're going to slide right now into our next segment, which for someone who has, even though Bibby's like, well, no, I don't know. There is method to the madness. Got to be. So we're going to talk about product development. That's our business hot topic. So as we would like to do, obviously, research and talk about what makes a brand stand out. So oftentimes, right, as we're developing our products, we don't realize that we're actually following a cycle. And for those who don't know, there's actually a 6-step process that oftentimes we go through where we are able to actually build out our ideas and our products. So the first step is always ideation, right? So I know that you said it came from a discussion you had at the barbershop, but as you sat down, right, to create the first shirt or the first 2 shirts, take me through that process so that someone who was thinking about doing the same thing would kind of know where to start.
I don't know if the first shirt is a good example of that.
Okay, maybe one of the ones that you love the most.
I love that shirt. It's the genesis, but that was really that was kind of almost before a brand. So it's like, it was just like a t-shirt idea, right? So generally, like, I listen to, like, for instance, right now I'm working on spring summer drop. So like it just start with like a mood, like a general idea of what I want to do, and it usually starts with like one item, and then I like kind of build off of that staple item, and kind of build the collection around that.
So for instance, you're talking about spring, summer. So is it like, okay, I want to catch a vibe of the summer? Is it color? Is it fabric? Is it like the warmth? Like, what is it that helps you build out, this is going to be, I know that these colors are going to be for my spring, summer drop. Like, what is that for you?
Usually it's a song. Or
really? I like that.
album.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's like, so usually I'll be listening to like between like 1 and 3 albums, like on repeat when I'm creating, or a song on repeat when I'm creating. And it's really just like those things that come to mind. And I probably should be better with like, oh, this is the color for the season. I just really just do what I feel, and then, throw that out there.
Well, no, I think you are doing that, because if it's a matter of music, because music is like colors to me. It's visual. Yes, it's auditory, but you can build out so many things like in your mind when you listen to music. Right. So I think you do that. So do you pick are they new albums? Are they old? Somewhere in between?
It could be it could be both at the same time. Like to build out fall winter 23, I was listening to Most Def the Aesthetic. Like, not sure what color that brings to mind. Maybe the brown in the jacket come from the Most Def Slick Rick song when they supposed to be in Iraq. I don't know. It just happens. You know, is that process, and then at a certain point is a little bit of magic, I guess.
So, for all of our burgeoning entrepreneurs, I need you to take note, right? Whatever it is that helps you get in your bag, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's conversation, whatever the case may be, there is something that helps you ideate around what it is that you're creating. So, that's your first step. Surprise, you didn't know that, but that's what it actually is. And from there, we go to research, right? Because we can look at the barriers to entry right now into anything, it's so low because social media has kind of removed those things from us. Being able to source things on your own, you're able to do it in a way that you haven't done before. So the term oversaturation can definitely deter somebody who is a brand builder from wanting to jump in. So take us through the research process, if any, right? Like, whether it's through sourcing, whether it's your fabrics, like what does that look like?
So, as far as research, it really is like all those things, right? So, like, if I'm doing something, I mean, my brand is about hip hop history, so I need to make sure that I research and be factually accurate and historical. And a shirt that I'm making, like, it's this picture that I want to create. Is that really from 1973? Was hip hop the first hip hop party really at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue? Right. So, like, all these different things, yeah, it's researching that. And then it's definitely research as far as you get into sourcing, definitely. It's research, it's trial, it's error, it's lost money.
We're gonna come to that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So another tip. So all the things, like, I love the fact that you said that what you're researching has to be synonymous with the brand. You have to make sure that you have where the first party was, what the year was, like all of these things to give you the feel of what you're looking for. And I think oftentimes that can be missed. If we're looking for a vintage feel, it doesn't make sense for you to go to necessarily like the I guess the early 2000s is considered vintage now, but if you're looking at something that you're looking for an aesthetic from the 70s or the 80s or whatever, you need to be able to put yourself back in that space to be able to create in a way that mimics that. So entrepreneurs, take note. So our next step is planning. And you know me, as a CEO and founder of the Air Vista Planner, it's my favorite, okay? You have to be able to plan. It really negates a lot of nonsense. So what does that look like as the founder of an apparel brand?
So for me, planning is just a date, right? So it's like, okay, I want to have a pop-up on this day. And the pop-up and vending is different things, but that's a whole nother thing. So, like, I'm gonna have a pop-up on this date, or I'm gonna drop it at this vending event on this date, right? And so then that's how my timeline starts. That's where planning starts.
So you backwards map. Like, I give the date. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So how much can I get done before this date?
Okay.
Because like that, I mean, that's how like my mind works. Is I really just keep going until that date,
So again, I think it's so important to just be aware of that. There are two ways to go about it. Some people can bring themselves into a place of like heavy procrastination when it's like, I'm gonna do it until it's perfect, right? And then there's another thing to say, okay, May 30th, September 1st, December 31st, it's gotta get done. And I've gotta make sure that I'm doing whatever I have to do to say that my Instagram is updated, my site is updated, I have my different sizes in apparel, like having all of those things. So, and you said that's how you work, and that's so important. Knowing how you naturally work is and that's really knowing yourself, like being able to say, I work better with a deadline. Some people don't. They get frazzled and they begin to fall apart. You have to know what works for you in order to actually plan effectively so you're able to actually move your brand forward. So, yes.
And some of that is like, it's not up to you, right? At some point, right? Like, you could work towards perfect and not have product.
Yep.
That could be that's the Dr. Dre approach, right? Like, I'm working to make a perfect album and it never come out, right?
That's a fact.
So like, some deadlines or like when you miss a deadline, some of it's like if you do cut and sew manufacturing overseas, right? It's like, hey, when can you get this to me?
Yeah.
And sometimes it didn't come in time, right? So, it's both dates that you set and dates that are set for you.
Do you think there is any value in selecting your manufacturers according to that? Let's say you work with someone for a while, right? Or you might have 2 or 3. Some people just have one to start. How do you feel about, well, what is your approach with that? Do you believe in having multiple manufacturers? Do you like to have one person that you're always like, you're like this with? Because those deadlines are not arbitrary, like they're collections, they have to drop. Like, what is your thought process when planning when it comes to manufacturers?
So it's like whatever you need to do to get it done. You know what I mean? So when you first start, you probably just gonna have one manufacturer because you're only taking a chance with spreading the money so thin. You know what I mean? And sometimes if you do, 4 pieces with one manufacturer, you can get price breaks, right? And then it turns into, as you evolve, it's who does the best work at each product, right? So like you got a jacket guy, got a guy who do shorts, you got hat people, sock people, you know what I mean? So it's really how much you want to expand and what can they do, and also how far do your funds go?
What does that look like? Because I think there's a danger, and I even felt this way when I first started. There's a danger in wanting to do too much too quickly, right? What do you think? And you've been doing it for about 9 years now, almost 10. So what does that look like in terms of timelines? I know you started with 2 items and you've offered at this point over 150. Is it the take a risk approach, manufacture a little, see how it goes, and then build upon that? Is it like a limited collection approach where it's like, okay, I'm going to do maybe, I don't know, I'm just making this up, 50 of one thing and 100 of another, and just kind of continue to expand? Or is it really focusing on like going deep? Like, I really want to make sure that this is my staple product. I want this to drill down with my customer base. Like, what does that look like for scale and for offerings?
To me, what I do is I put out what's in my head and in my heart, and then whatever sells best out of that, then I make more of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, and then what's in my head and my heart is limited by the budget, right?
Let's be honest,
we
yeah.
don't got unlimited money, so it's really just hey, I go to my limit, and then whatever sells best, I do more of.
So how do you know, if you started with T-shirts though, because now you have jackets, you have hats, you have socks, you have shorts, how do you know when to add that next item?
It's really just when I get there. Do I got enough money to put out a T-shirt, a jacket, some socks, in that collection, right? And then like socks, like I might order 100 pair, right? But I'm not gonna sell all of them in one season. So then I have those socks, and then when I get low on socks, then I'll order more.
So it's like
in a
almost
different color, right? Yeah, for the staple things.
Got it. Okay. So brand builders, check your pockets. Expanding too soon will deplete your funds and your resources, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are allocating your funds in a way that makes sense. So now we're going to move to prototyping, right? So talk to me about what that looks like for Historian Threads.
I guess you could do it in 2 ways, right? So first part of prototyping would be like a mock-up, right? So I'm making like what it look like on a computer.
Okay. Like what program do you use?
Bouncing between Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay.
So
let me ask you.
Go ahead.
So were you proficient with those 2 tools, or when you started, or did you start, were you sketching by hand and then you jumped in? Like, how did you become proficient with those?
I can't draw anything.
Really?
I can't draw 2 straight lines.
Shut up. Okay, excuse me.
Yeah,
so
I can't draw 2.
You had to go right to the computer.
Yeah, so
okay.
so I just got in college. We started, like making T-shirts. This was just like we had a company called Iron We in college, so we make T-shirts for like Greeks or whatever, right?
Okay.
So like I could do a little bit of stuff in Photoshop. And that little bit of stuff I could do, I could manipulate that into like a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Okay.
So I might have had like 5 skills, right? But I could do a lot of stuff with those 5 skills because I didn't know anything else. So it's like necessity is the mother of invention. So like a lot of stuff that I do in Photoshop, people be like, oh, you could have just did this, this, and this. But I didn't know that, you know? And that was before like everybody was posting stuff like on Instagram about how to work Photoshop or even like YouTube. So then I started with that and then just kind of grew the skill more and more. Yeah.
Super important. Look at the skills that you have. Bibby knew he couldn't draw. Maybe you can't draw either, right? So you have to find ways to mitigate some of those areas of challenge to ensure that you are able to get the product you want. So I just wanted to just back up because in case someone's like, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure what to use, now you have 2 tools that you can use. So I'm sorry, take me back, Bibby. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, so prototyping. So I guess that would be like prototyping for me. Like, hey, coming up with the actual, you know, the quote unquote sketch, like a mock up, really, in Photoshop or AI, and getting that to a manufacturer and be like, hey, can you make this? You know,
Right.
that's prototyping for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do they usually send it? They send one to you, or you've worked them enough to know that what they can do will mimic what you designed?
Well, when I first started like cut and sew, right? Like, so when I first started, you know, doing like actual like shorts that I fully made and not just embroidering or screen printing on something, then I didn't know about like getting a sample, right? So
Okay.
like, you know, they was like, yeah, we could do it. And then I was like, okay, well, I need 20, you know, and these the sizes or whatever. And I got my first experience with that is I just got back everything and it was like everything was a different size. Like the 4 smalls, all those was different sizes.
Oh no.
The extra large was the same size as one of the smalls.
Oh
Like,
no.
Yeah. So like if anybody go to historianthreads.com and you see the all over crown shorts, like it took me 2 years to find somebody to do that. 2 years and you know, a couple $100 that I threw down the drain, you know. So now it's really just everything that I want that's new. I get a sample for it. Now, like with shorts, if I make a different design on the shorts, because the cut and everything of the shorts is kind of like we have everything locked down with the manufacturer that I use. So if I do shorts again, I don't need to redo shorts. Like if I do a jacket, I don't need to get a sample on a jacket, because the main problem that you have when it comes to sourcing clothes is sizing.
Okay, that's good tea. I didn't know that. Okay, so sizing is usually the issue.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to China or Pakistan, like they don't even know what a 2X person look like. That sounds crazy, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They're just
Like,
built differently, right? Yeah.
Even like shoes, like if I haven't gotten the shoes, but like shoe sizing, I know like in China it's like, oh, you need over a 10. That sounds crazy to them, right? Like nobody there wear over a 10. You know what I mean?
So for all of our apparel entrepreneurs, sizing is important. If you don't go with the first provider that you just comes across your way, you need to get samples. It's
Absolutely.
really important, because you want to make sure that they are able to manufacture your design appropriately.
All right.
So
And sampling that's the biggest expense, right? When it comes down to it, because the sample might cost, you know, a sample for the shorts might cost $50 to make, but then your price per, if you order, you know, 50 pair of shorts might be $15-$16. You see what I'm saying? So that's the biggest investment is the sample. So
Is the
make
sample.
sure it get right. Yep.
Okay, so if you're gonna spend money in one place, that's the place to do it. Okay, I love it. So that's some good information that you can take with you, put in your back pocket, and make sure you utilize it moving forward. So we've gone through ideation, research, planning, prototyping, and now we're sliding into sourcing. So how was it that you are able to source your vendors for your designs?
So I mean, everybody probably knows the secret, but like I mean, Alibaba, to be honest with you, and then I mean, you could develop relationships off of Alibaba, you know. So like I think only like
And that was from the beginning in 2015?
Oh no. Okay, so I'm thinking cut and sew sourcing, right?
Okay.
Like that's like the big thing. Like, well, a lot of people make their shirts outside now, but like sourcing in 2015, it started with, let me look up a screen printer. To be honest with you, yeah.
Okay.
Let's look up a screen printer, and I just and all to be honest, what I'm looking for when I was looking for back then. I was looking for black people who did the work, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I tried. So even like, so everything that I do locally produced is produced by black people. You
To
know what I mean?
continue to keep the dollar circulating in the community.
Yep.
Understandable.
Yep.
So when did you, because sometimes even doing anything in this country, right, let alone in a specific community, can be extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And so then as you get larger and you do want to be able to offer more, you do have to kind of come outside of that. What did that look like over the course of the past decade?
So, trying to stay black, like the bad experience I had, I was trying to do manufacturing in Nigeria, and that didn't work out. So then manufacturing went to Pakistan, which I still do some manufacturing in Pakistan now, some in China, and then all local like screen printing. Back in 2019, I vertically integrated, and so I started a whole new company called T-Shirt Guys MD, where not only do we do printing for historian threads, but we do other people printing as well. So then I started screen printing.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you went from sourcing vendors to being one of them. So
Right.
if you need anything regarding T-shirts, screen printing, we know who your guy is. He's sitting right here. Okay.
T-Shirt Guys MD.
There you
Check us
go.
out.
Awesome. Hey, Aravistas, Gigi here. I am thrilled to announce the debut of our 2024 Celebrate collection. We have been on quite the journey. We started with self-care, we moved into inspiring ourselves and others, we've been our most creative selves, and we've walked in excellence. And now we are celebrating your divine purpose. There is no one on earth who walks like you, talks like you, or shares any of your divine gifts. And it's time for us to celebrate all of your unique traits. I cannot wait for you to see our 2024 Celebrate collection. Happy planning. So now let's go into cost and being efficient with cost. What does that look like? Given all these 5 things we've discussed, the whole purpose of business is to make money. So how do you decide how you're going to price your items?
So growing up where I grew up in West Baltimore, and the oldest of my mom's 4 kids, and so we didn't have, like we couldn't get cross colors and use denim. That's the era I grew up in. That's dating me, but it is what it is. So I try to keep prices relatively affordable. If you know apparel industry, their markup usually is like 400% or greater, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
400% or greater. Keep that in the back of your mind.
But I don't mark up that high. So so my goal is to double up off every product. Okay. It's a West Baltimore drug dealer mentality, but it worked for me, right? Like so that's what it kind of is. I just want to double up and be able to put more product out. Get my money back for the product, make some profit, and give people dope stuff at affordable prices.
I love that. That's awesome. So listen, you want some fire drip? You already know where to go. So one thing Bibby said, we're gonna move into our next segment, is you talked about pop-ups, right? And for those who are unfamiliar, we call them a myriad of different things. We call it vending, we call it pop-up shops, we call it pop-up markets, all of pop-ups, all of these things. So tell me what that has done for your business.
All right, so first thing is so what I call pop-up and then what people call pop-up now is different. So if I have a pop-up, that means I run out of space and it's just me there.
Just you. Oh, this is okay, got it. So it's almost like you're bringing your storefront to the people.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like temporary storefront, and I've done like 4 of those, right? Rent a space and it's really just me, or me in conjunction with another business. Usually it's not another apparel brand, but I mean, I guess it could be, right? So that's what I call a pop-up. And then like vending is like SneakerCon or Black Ass Flea Market, where it's going to be a myriad of different people. It's like the mall, basically, right? For lack of a better example. So, it gets me out to the people. It gets me customers awareness, so people then could go to the website if they don't see me at an event. And that's what I'm shooting for there. I'm just shooting to be like, oh, he got a dope product that he presents well and at affordable prices, and I could go ahead and get it, you know? So
I don't think, and I say this all the time, I don't think a lot of new entrepreneurs are aware of how important participating in pop-up markets are, participating in vending is, because it literally puts you in the face of people who are able to give you feedback in real time, right? And put you in the line of sight, people who may have never come across you before. So if it's something that you're on the verge of, you're like, I don't know. I always say, just get out there and try, because even if you don't do well initially, it will help you grow.
You'll learn something every event.
Every time.
Every event, I feel like I learned something, just a little bit, and whether it's presentation, whether it's like how I want to have the flow. You see other people who vending who may have been there longer, and you could take inspiration from them, ideas from them, and go from there.
Yep. I couldn't have said it better myself. So as we think about that, right? The whole purpose of business is to make money. You need customers, and being able to be at the forefront of these events puts you there. So let's talk about our next segment. We're going to get into it, okay? It's called Umbrella. And the reason why I call it Umbrella, Bibby, is because we bring in the shade. When you're in front of people, okay, you might have, I would say 90% of our customers are amazing. But there's always that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% that can be a little, a little challenging to handle. So I want you to tell us about one of the most challenging situations you've been in with a customer.
I don't really have bad situations with customers. I think mainly because you probably have bad experience because you look nice, right?
No.
And I don't know. I don't come off looking that approachable or like, I don't know. I never
Baby, you
had
don't smile
nobody.
when you vending?
No, not really.
What? You have to smile, Bibby, to entice the people to come in.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
Really?
I am terrible at that.
Oh, no.
Look,
don't take that note from Bibby. You got to smile.
Don't take it from me. I don't like, to be honest, 100% honest, I don't like talking to people like that.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because that actually is really important. A lot of people are deterred from doing it because they're like, I'm an introvert. Like, now I got to talk and do all this smiling. Hey, how are you? It's a lot. It's a lot of energy. A lot. And you're there for hours. Sometimes, 8, 9 hours the entire day. So as someone who is more introverted, or you just don't like talking like that, how do you mitigate that and still present yourself? We're gonna work on the smiling though.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. I ain't smiling my prom picture.
What? Oh, Bibby, come on.
No, I can smile if we having a conversation and you say something funny, but I can't, my face hurt. I can't sit there all day and just...
Be cheesing? Okay.
That's weird to me, right? So, to be honest, another lesson for West Baltimore, good dope sell itself. You know what I mean? I put it out and people see it and if they like it, then they buy it. We can have conversations about stuff, of course, and that's my engagement. It's not really hey, hello. It's let's talk about this. Hey, what's this shirt that you have on? Oh yeah, that's inspired by 3 Feet High and Rising De La Soul, right? Oh yeah, and I remember when that came out. We could have that conversation, yes,
right.
But everything with me is genuine. It's you know what I mean?
No, that's good, because the thing is, I think customers respond to people being authentic, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
No, they do, because your brand is still standing, so they do. But the thing about it is, what you said is important. Some people can say hi and not have anything to say after that, right? What you're doing is actually having a conversation about the actual apparel and the history of it.
Right.
So that's your shtick. That's your thing. Knowing that's why you do your research, right?
Yeah, right.
So you know exactly, your dates, your facts, your times, all of that. And then you're able to speak to that because it's not fake. What you're doing is coming from the heart.
Right. So now I got a story.
Okay,
so
I'm ready.
This is not a challenging customer, but it's a challenge from a customer, right?
Okay.
So I'll have customers come up to me all the time and they'll be like, what you know about this, right? It's a challenge question. It's usually an older gentleman who really know about hip hop, what you know about Rakim, you know what I mean? What you know about this, whatever it is. And
trying to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, and just prove to them no, I'm really about this. I really I'm really hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of test, quote unquote, that I get from customers.
See, know your lane. You have to know your brand like the back of your hand, and that's what you do, right? So if anyone is coming to test your information, your knowledge about what you have going on, Bibby has an answer for you. So I would say that's it. I think that's, even though they haven't been shady or been bad necessarily, you still are able to kind of engage people who may be challenging by knowing your product.
Right.
Right, yeah, okay. So now we're going to talk about something that entrepreneurs don't often discuss. I don't know if it's because we're shy. I don't know if we're embarrassed about it, but the next segment's called In the Red. So in the red, as we know, we prefer to be in the black, but it happens to almost every entrepreneur at some point or another. Describe for me a time where the money was funny. You know, it could have been a manufacturing issue. It could have been a delay. It could have been something that could have set you in a very bad place. We like to be transparent and remove the veil of entrepreneurship and talk about what really happens behind the scenes.
Right, and I try to do that, like, even on Instagram. If I have like a bad vending day, I'll just like, I want to go and tell people, like, so people know the whole story. Like, this not just a highlight, this the whole movie, right? So you know, like, I had tons of, like, I told you guys about the shorts. I lost $1,200 in winter 2022 trying to do a jacket. All the jackets came jacked up, like every single, like, it wasn't one that spared, like all of them came jacked up. Not the manufacturer that I had now, it was an old manufacturer that I had.
Okay.
And you know, we talked and he said he was going to do this replacement, and you know, 3 months later I still had nothing, right? So then I put him on blast on Instagram, and then he was in his feelings. I told people, like, hey, don't spend your money with this guy because, you know, you're not doing good business.
Fair.
Simple, like, it is what it is. So it's been many challenging times. I did a vending event one time. I did a vending, since this is Venmade. I did a vending event at I think is it George Mason University or something. It's a university in DC, like in the heart of DC.
Okay. And
this guy, he had Deshaun Jackson from Deshaun Jackson was playing for the Redskins at the time, still the Redskins. And he had him come out, and I swear it was about 50 vendors, and maybe 5 people came in all day. 5 people. And
that
then
is the worst.
I couldn't even be mad at the guy because he put out so much money to get Deshaun Jackson to come. I'm like, he took it out. I ain't go. Like,
you can't even be mad.
Yeah, like, what I'm gonna say, like, you know, and so when you choosing vending events, and this is like my warning, like go with somebody that's proven. Go with if you trying to vend and you only see one Instagram message, like, did they put out, like, hey, we having this vending event? Like, they not advertising, they not working the event. So try to go with people established. Sounds bad, but don't do nobody first vending event. You know what I mean? Like,
telling people the truth.
Show and prove to me. That's how I look at it. Like, if I'm gonna give you 100, 200,
$300-$400, sometimes $1,000.
Like, I want to see your track record. I want to see photos and videos of your last event to see, like, you could bring the people out. To be honest with you, so I don't do first events. Like, catch me next time. You know what I mean? Unless you want to throw it to me on the humble, like, just come out. You know what I mean? Like, do it for free. I do it free, you know, one time.
I like that. I like that energy because you're a veteran in the game and you are a tested, tried and true brand. So if you want me to come, I got to make sure that that you can provide me the customer base. I'm not even mad at that. I might have to try that myself. But let me say this, because entrepreneurs, this is a struggle that I think everyone has faced, going to a really it was promoted in one way. When you get there, it's another event. And that's why Venmade exists. So just keep watching, okay? We got you. So Vendmade.com, we are here to provide you all of the information that you need to ensure that when you are actually investing in events, that you are able to get the return you're looking for, all right? So Vendmade.com, that's why we exist. All right, so now we talked about how you're able to work with challenging customers. We went through a time when, things were a little saucy in the red, and now we're talking about a time when things were just down bad. And it could be a decision that you made. It could have been something that was completely out of your control, but everyone faces that. You know what I mean? And I don't think we're as forthcoming as we should be. When was a time, a situation, experience where it almost, I'm not going to say took you out, but it was like, okay, do I even want to do this anymore? Like, give me.
To be honest, the $1,200 on the jacket, that
was it. That was what almost made you stop.
Yeah, I mean, it don't sound like a lot, but it's like $1,200, and then you don't have no return coming on. It's just gone. It's like up in smoke. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm still small. It's not like I'm in. I don't even know what stores you would be in now. I'm not in Macy's. I'm not in Hex Company. That don't exist no more, right?
But it's a good throwback, though. It's a good throwback.
But yeah, so like like that loss, like it hurt,
No,
it
for
sting,
sure.
and the further you go back, the further it is to your start, the smaller it got to be for it to be like, man, like how am I overcome this? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's just what and it took. I mean, even though that was like I said, 2022, it still took like a minute to get back like to the level that you are. Oh, I got a real good one.
Oh, give it to me. Let's hear it.
So if you look at my Instagram, it'll say at the historian thread. So it wasn't always that. It was at historian thread. And, we had probably built it up to like 5,000 followers or somewhere in there, 4,000 some odd followers, right? And then we got like my personal Facebook got hacked, which was attached to the business Facebook, and business Facebook was attached to Instagram. So they took everything down, and you can't call it Instagram. It ain't no customer service.
Not even a little bit. No, you gotta send that little email.
So
and hope they respond.
Yeah, so we just had to start back over. So like the first video is me on the Instagram now, and it's just me explaining, that. So but it is what it is. I keep going and work from there.
To someone that may sound small, but to all of us who are actually, first of all, spending money on ads is it's nothing to sneeze at, okay? We're spending money on ads. We're making sure, listen, even the photo shoots, everything costs, right? It's your time, it's your energy, it's getting your photographer, getting the models, all of those things. And we do that to present our brands in a way that's palatable to people, right? Like Instagram is a thing, you can't avoid it. TikTok is a thing, you can't avoid it. All social media, it can't be avoided. So for those of us who are not purchasing followers, and we actually, you worked for every single one of those 5,000 followers, that hurts.
Yeah, it's devastating, but it is what it is.
No, but I think that's really something that's important to get across. Like that could have taken a lot of people out.
Yeah. So that might have been the lowest.
That was it. Yeah. I can see that. When those moments happen, right? When you're in the red, when you feel down bad, like what is the greatest fear that you have in your mind at that time? If you would take yourself back there.
That's a hard question. Like, it probably wasn't that much fear. It was like, yo, what I gotta do? Like, what's the next step? Like, all right, so what we doing now? So how we pivot from this? So it's not really fear. For me, it's anger. It's and then it's like, all right, get yourself together and what we got to do to keep going.
So what is it in those times that you feel like you're being taught or that you learned that have helped you continue in the entrepreneurial journey?
I didn't learn anything from that.
What? Yes, you did.
I promise you, it's not a lesson to learn in there. I thought about.
Okay, how about this? What did you learn about yourself?
To be honest, I think I'm really good at self-reflection because of Roland Jeffries, my father. So
shout out to Pops, that's right.
And so it's always take inventory. What can you do better? Like what you got to do moving on or whatever. The things that I did is just what I do. You know what I mean? Like I'm a pretty steady person. I'm pretty even. So it's always on to the next. You know what I mean? You could be in a worse situation, right? You could be in a better situation, right? But you're in a situation that you in, so what we gotta do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just what I learned from life, right? Like it's a lot of people that got worse situations than you. It's a lot of people with better situations than you. And trouble or like these mishaps, they affect everybody, no matter if you're good, bad, evil, all of it. It just is random. It's a roll of the dice, right? Like these things happen, and you just gotta deal with it. You know what I mean?
So it sounds to me like what was already instilled in you just became more apparent. It's resiliency, right? Being able to continue to stand the test of time. You take the good with your bad. I think my mom said, her boss said, you take the crookeds with the straights. Like you just do what you have to do and you keep putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward. So,
and I learned those lessons from, be honest, I learned those lessons from my parents. And I tell people all this, well, I'm from West Baltimore. Like I'm from, I'm from North Avenue in Longwood in West Baltimore. And
Describe it to me, because those of us who are not Baltimoreans, we don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
If it's anything, if it's on North Avenue, it ain't good.
You don't want
right?
it?
Like,
Okay.
North Avenue is one of that's in all the songs, right? Like, you don't want to be a place in a rap song or a club music or whatever, right?
Right.
But my parents, they were superheroes. You know what I mean? My dad, he owned a custom cabinetry firm, so I got that entrepreneurial spirit
in your
from
blood.
him. Yeah, my mom, she the tax lady. You know what I mean? So like,
She does your taxes now too?
Did she do my taxes now? Yeah, she helped.
Okay.
Yeah, she said, you got inputted, and I look at it.
Shout out to mom as well.
Yeah, so you know, those lessons come from them, and just being who you are, and you know, never forgetting who you are in the midst of whatever those trials and tribulations.
And one thing I would say is, we talk about this a lot. Entrepreneurship is a reflection, that your success is a reflection of who you are, your values, like your ability to push forward. And I think everything you said just literally mimics that. It's a constant thing. Like, you are your brand, and who you are, how you push forward, how you're able to meet challenges, and also how you're able to even enjoy success, right, is a reflection of who you are as a person. So I think self-work, and like you were saying, reflection is very, very important, because this is not an easy journey for anyone. So being able to be aware, reflective, understanding your challenges, and understanding where you shine is going to be integral in this walk. So keep that in the back of your mind, friends. It's really important. And now we're bringing it all full circle. So we've talked about, customers, how they can be challenging. We've talked about being in the red, coming out of being down bad. So we're taking it full circle. So why is it that you continue to do what you do? What is the purpose for you?
The purpose is to make dope things and have dope conversations. I mean, that's just what it is, plain and simple. You know what I mean? That's my raison d'etre. Like, you know, I just want to make dope stuff that inspire dope conversations about this culture that I love.
See, Bibby try to act like he don't like to talk, but he does. He want to talk to you about his stuff.
No, I don't like talking to random people, right? Like I don't,
unless they talking about your stuff.
right? And I don't like to talk for no reason.
Yeah, he's a purposeful converser.
Yeah.
Okay, he's purposeful in his conversation.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
so let me just, because I have to shout this out. Okay, this is an iconic image. So just tell me real quick about what you got on.
Oh, so this is the Kim T. So we started off, and this is from the Crush on You video. So we did she changed clothes 4 times. It's all red. So that was the first. That's the first one we dropped on the cease and desist tee. We did the blue on the cease and desist tee, and then we just did these lines. This is like the start of this project where I'm doing like the highlight the women in hip hop, where we just doing like these big faces. I mean, because Kim, this like before, you don't need nothing else. You don't need to cut your face and all that stuff.
She was beautiful.
Yeah, just highlight the beauty. So the next one we're gonna drop in spring summer is gonna be a Missy Elliott.
Okay.
Yeah, big head Missy Elliott. I'm excited about that. That's pretty dope. So yeah.
I love it. So stay tuned, because you are ready. As Bibby said, the stuff moves itself because it's iconic. All right. So Bibby, we're going to end with something that I think is important, right? There are people they could be either a new entrepreneur, a vet, someone who, maybe a little discouraged. I like to always end with the Venmade Tip of the day. It can be in regard to product development. It can be about anything, something that you wish you had known before you jumped into this journey. So I want you to give the brand builders what your Venmade Tip of the day is.
So my Venmade tip of the day is do as much as you can, right? Like, the way you save money is not having to outsource things. So like, I've never paid a photographer. I take my own pictures. I'm not a photographer.
Really?
I'm a picture taker. Yeah. That's different. That's the dude was at the hub, and when you're in front of the backdrop, you put your hand up like that. So I'm that guy. I'm a picture taker. I've edited my own photos. I screen print what I can. I do my own design. So as much as I can do, I do, and that gives you more runway and more funds, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So, brand builders, you have made it with us walking through the entrepreneurial jungle, and you know what that means. That means that we have a surprise for you. So, Bibby, what do you have for the people?
So definitely check out the website, and if you find something that you so like or that you so love, use code REUP to save 15% on your order, your entire order. So order a lot, right?
Oh, listen. Don't order one thing. What are you talking about? You got to order the set, the outfit. You got the shirt, the jacket, the shorts, and the socks. And we're going to take a foray into shoes soon, you think? Maybe?
I don't know. Maybe one
Okay,
day.
I don't want to say too much. We don't want to say too much because it's going to be an exclusive drop. Okay, I love it.
But
so, yes.
I just appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes.
It was had a good time, great conversation, and I bought you a gift.
Oh, I love gifts. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Should I open it now or should I just wear it next time? What you think?
Go ahead, you can take
Okay,
it
I'm
out so
gonna
we
take a
can
look.
share it.
Let's take a look and see. Oh, see, I was eyeing your hat. I'm a big hat wearer. I love it. So we're gonna be matching. I love that.
It's our crown.
That's my color too. So tell us what it is.
So you'll see the crown on everything. You see the crown that Grace has on the
Yep,
shirt.
and this is mine.
So it's a 4-point crown, 1 point for each element of hip hop, DJing, MCing, breaking, and graffiti. So that's what the crown stands for on the 16-degree ring.
That's awesome.
And see it's on the socks.
On the socks too. These is cute. These are cute. And then what do I have in here?
So I think that's from the Rebel tee. So that's kind of what I was talking about before. So that's actually a picture of the Bronx in 1973.
Oh, wow.
And so where hip hop came from, it was birthed out of Rebel, like
Yes.
bombed out buildings. It looked like bombs. It was people setting buildings on fire. And from that, we got this culture of hip hop that went around the world 7 to 8 times now.
I love it. It's gonna be my summertime tea with my hat. I'm ready. And let me just tell you this, and I'm not just saying that, Bibby, because I have I think 2 or 3 of these my crew necks. The lining is so soft.
Yeah.
I always listen. I wish I could flip it inside out. It's just the sourcing, the quality, all of it is so worth it. I love it, and I just I encourage you to go. Tell me the coupon code again.
Code is REUP. So REUP.
Use REUP and go get you some items. You're not going to be disappointed. You know I don't lie on here. There's no need for it, right? So, brand builders, you've made it to the very end. Bibby, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for blessing us with my new items. Thank you for giving us a smidget, right, of the history and culture of hip hop. And if you want to know more, please make sure you follow Bibby. Check out his website. He'll have a conversation with you about all of these things, okay, in person. A meaningful, purposeful conversation so you can meet him at his pop-up markets as well as any kind of vending events he's going to. Bibby, it's been a pleasure. So tell the people again, where can they find you?
So you can find us at historianthreads.com. On Instagram, we're at The Historian Threads. And if you have an idea, you want to make a shirt, a sweatshirt, a hoodie, anything, you got your brand coming, you can find us at The T-Shirt Guys MD on Instagram.
Thank you, Bibby. We hope that you have learned so very much because I know I have. I've enjoyed our conversation. We kept it not even 100%, 1,000% real. We've talked about all the different parts of product development, and I hope that you've been able to glean a lot of good information as you start your brands, growing your brands, or just propel your brands forward. And as usual, you know what we do here. We let our guards down, we serve truth up, and stand on business, the good, the bad, and the better. And please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you next time. Bye.